Hello, everyone. I'm covering something that's been covered a lot on quite a few other channels, but I'm doing it for myself now, so I'm going to record what I'm doing, and that is making an Agentic OS. What the hell is an Agentic OS? Well, usually you start with just the AI, your agent, and when you start things off with your agent, has no memories, it has no skills, knows nothing about you, doesn't know anything about the projects you're working on. And then when you end that chat and you start a new chat, same deal. It has no memory who you are, it doesn't know anything. So each time you start up the AI, it has to learn about you every single time. Not only that, it's not really working for you. You're just chatting with the box. It's not doing awesome stuff like testing for you, developing code for you, checking your calendar, checking the back-end systems, just doing stuff automatically on your behalf. Your team of agents, the promise of AI to automate your job. That's what the Agentic OS is, and I could be regretting trying to call this out as a term, but I've been reading about the emerging thing of harness engineering, and I do believe this is a type of harness engineering. I'm guessing, I could be wrong, but what that means is how you set up all your systems together to work with AI, and the best thing is, with this system, you can take that AI out and pop in something new. So you can switch from Codex to Claude code to Ollama on your machine running local LLMs. It doesn't matter. This decouples from the AI agent, the coding agent that you have, and you take all that information and you put it in a format that fits you and you personally, and it learns from you over time. So that's what I'm going to get in today. I'm really going to focus on the beginning parts of it and just giving a big overview. And I will personally be going through doing this for myself. I've already started at my job. I'm not sure I trust 100% of the things I did, but I'll walk through what I'm doing, how I'm approaching it, and some of the open questions I have about this stuff. Like, how do we know it's improving our workflows? How do we know we're doing it right? How do we know we put things together correctly? From what I'm seeing, there isn't that much in the way of quality in these systems at all. What are your checks other than, well, I think we're we're gonna 3x it today. It's 3xing. 10x today. You're gonna hear every freaking person saying 10x and 3x, but I did find some actual studies that say that using this system can, in fact, multiply your productivity, but they're a little bit more realistic in the output. It's more like 1 to 2x your output, which is a little bit more reasonable. But people who do this stuff, they can just they can have it down to just like they do their prompt and the system just takes over and pops out the finished code on the other end. That's what I'm hoping happens. So let me jump into it. Before we jump into it, actually, go down to the description, download the top 5 test automation best practices. It's a free download of 5 easy things that you can start putting to work in your job today. Get it? So the first part is like, how do you get there? How do you even start with all of this stuff? What I'm personally doing is using NotebookLM from Google. The reason I'm using NotebookLM, first, NotebookLM only takes the sources you give it and it only operates on those sources. So it's not going through outdated information somewhere or some old model training data or some weird stuff. It's just the sources you put in. Second thing, Google can just directly translate YouTube videos. I don't need to put in a YouTube API key. I don't need to go through any of that. Google already has firsthand access to that. So there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on making the Agentic OS. So I put a few of those in there. I got it set up, and let me show you how that works and what it looks like. On the left over here are all the sources I added. First, I just did a search for Agentic OS, and that populated quite a few articles down here. But if you see these YouTube videos, I actually had some watch later stuff, and I just went through and found a whole bunch of videos that I liked about the Agentic OS, and some with different opinions on the Agentic OS and different ways of building it. So that way I had multiple viewpoints here. Then I had it create all the good stuff. Yeah, then you can just go here. If you haven't used NotebookLM before, then yeah, then you can just go through and start questioning it about the research that you've compiled here. And it's really cool. It's a great study tool. It's a great way just to isolate the things you're trying to learn about, create reports and different ways of viewing the information. And yeah, so that's how I did it. And it's been extremely helpful to like walk through this, ask questions here about the research I've done. And just from this, it starts giving me the active steps to doing it. And if we just pop over here, I've created a few different documents here. And these documents are imperfect. I think other people have simpler ways of breaking this down, like the ACE architecture. But I'm just going to go through what this is real quick. Just some of the breakdowns of these layers. And the AIOS, AIO, it's so weird, AIOS, I always think it's saying something else, but Agentic Operating System, or AIOS. You're going to have your, I don't know why it's referring to these things. I don't really like this diagram. Is there another one? I don't know which one that was. Maybe. I think it's still doing the same thing. But anywho's, so here, I don't know why I did this, the core architecture, but anyway, this is like a kind of the replaceable layer right here, your core architecture. And this would be like where your like Claude code or Codex or Ollama or whatever you're using would go right here into this core architecture, and whatever works on your operating system. But here we get into the key mechanisms right here, and you see it's the memory systems, the context management, and the scheduling. And that's what a lot of these agentic systems don't have. They're great at shitting out code, but they don't really have the memory of the long term. So every time you start your chat with the Agentic OS, it's going to look through the memory that you've set up for it. And the memory could be as simple as just having markdown files. And usually what this does, it's markdown files, but it gets into the hooks of your system. So after you finish a prompt, the hook will fire and it'll add stuff to your memory. Or if you end your chat session, that also there is a hook, and it'll summarize what happened in that chat and add it to your memory. That way, when you start up a new chat, these notes are out there, and the system here knows how to find them. Context management. Yeah, you give a lot of rules here on what context to have, and so that way this memory isn't just flooding it. Here you tell it how to access all the data. So here's the memory, but here's all the data of your systems. How does it know, who you are? How does it know where to find information on what project you're working on now? How does it know when you're working on something new, what to do with that? Like, what are your workflows? What are your preferences? So the context management layer is here, and then here we get into a little bit more scheduling, and that's a little bit more on the orchestration side of it. When you create that team of agents, you want it scheduled. Yeah, I don't know what all this stuff is. But yeah, so those are some of the big things, and I'm not going to go through all of these things. Let's see what these paradigms say. Whatever, performance and benefits, whatever. Yeah, so this one right here says, hey, 2.1x execution speed. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, but that's basically, you create some layers. You create your memory, you create the context, you create some identity about yourself and the projects you work on and how you work. So when you get this up and running, you're not going to be starting from scratch each time. You're going to be starting with something that knows you and how you work. And I love that. I've been kind of hacking this together on my own. I have all these files everywhere, and I've been trying to do like the LLM wiki thing, but the idea that Agentic OS just kind of really solidifies it for me. Someone walked through it and they said, just talking about how they just remove everything from Claude code and put it into their own space. And it's portable then. You can just grab all your markdown files, put it somewhere else, just copy, paste them, pop them on a new device entirely, and it'll follow you around. It's your operating system now. So it's portable with you once you decouple it from the AI. So I just went through this process this morning. The first thing to go through is establishing your identity. What is this identity? It's really just markdown files, but people are using Obsidian to do it. And Obsidian is a note-taking tool. I've used it. It's really fun looking. It does all these nodes and it can tag things, so it can connect ideas from a tag in one markdown document to tags in another markdown document, and it keeps track of all these things. So you can follow lines of reasoning, which is wonderful for AI because it's it just adds the appropriate tags to your markdowns, and then it can trace through all these markdowns for common ideas and common keywords. So Obsidian Vault, that's what I used. I just set up a vault, and inside that vault, I start something called me.md, or I think OpenClaw has it as soul.md. But I do me.md because it's less typing. I love less typing. So yeah, we go into the identity layer, and what you do with this identity layer, and that's the very first thing you do, and it's basically where I'm at right now, is have the AI question you. And you create this me.md document. Here's a little interview guide. And it's basically this right here. Whoops. I'm building my identity file. Please ask me 15 questions about how I work, what I want, what I don't want, what frustrates me about AI today, and what rules I want enforced. And it will generate 15 questions, and you can just walk through and answer them, and you shove them into this file called me.md. That by itself doesn't do anything. Why 15 questions? I looked around and poked around, why is it this? I think this is just somebody came up with this and everyone's just been copying and pasting it. To be honest, I think it just gives you a starting point. And everywhere, yeah, it says right here that this is just 70% right. Everything about the Agentic OS is iterative. So you're never starting at perfect. You're starting at basically nothing, and it has to start. It's gonna have to start with crawling. It's gonna fall over a lot, and then it's gonna start to walk shakily, and then it's gonna start to run, and then it's gonna freaking fly, man. At least that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, it's just you ask 15 questions, and yeah, I did the voice to text thing too. I did it on MacBook using the dictation setting in MacBook. Worked great. Yeah, I just answered each question, just brain dumped everything. So yeah, then it's just making, after you got that me.md file, the next thing you want to do is a way to tell the OS where is everything located. And that would be your vault.md. And what that is, it just, I don't know why they called it the vault. I guess just because it's in an Obsidian vault file or whatever. I don't know. But vault, in this case, is just a directory. It tells when the AI starts up, it looks at your me.md, and then it looks at your vault. So the me.md kind of gives it the spirit of how it should work and how it should work with you. And the vault says, here's where all the files are. Here's where you can go for more information. Here's where my projects are. It just tells you where everything is at. It tells you how your Agentic OS is set up. like architecturally, and maybe not architecturally, but it gives you the directory structure. And that helps the AI to understand just the shape of everything versus starting from scratch. So normally, instead of the me.md, like if you go to the root and .claude right here, and you look at the files in here, there's going to be one file. It's going to be called your clod.md right here. So what you're going to do is take this claude.md and you're going to point it at your me.md file and your vault.md file. And this is the first file that it reads whenever the AI boots up. You start a new chat, this gets loaded. If you then have the only thing inside this, you just tell it to go look at your new me.md. That's your entry point to your agentic operating system. And here it's claude.md. I think Codex uses agents.md, and other systems use different types of like .md files. So whatever AI agent you're using, you have to change this to say, hey, look at my me.md after you create it. And that'll guarantee it loads up your operating system. So that's the big thing is from decoupling. So you got the claude.md, and the other decoupling thing you're going to want to do is copy over your skills. So copying over whatever skills you have in here and your claude.md and redirecting from your claude.md, that's going to be the big lift to remove the AI agent as the one source of truth and move it to your Agentic OS, your harness. And again, if you haven't already, go down to the description and get yourself Top 5 Test Automation, Best Practices, free download, 5 easy things you can get working in your job today. Yeah, very easy to read. Yeah, just things that I feel that it took me 25 years to kind of just learn some simple things I didn't know when starting out, put into this document. It's there below in the description. It's free. Grab it. And after you got the identity layer, the next thing you're going to want to put together is this ACE system. ACE is one of the mini systems, and in fact, after I did all this stuff with NotebookLM, it actually, my Codex at work actually added a couple different folders to this system, but we'll cover just this basic system to give you the idea of why this is what makes the Agentic OS work. So the A in ACE means Atlas. So why Atlas? I don't know. I don't know who came up with this ACE thing, but anyway, Atlas is just your knowledge. So it's more like static information. So yeah, your AI goes through here, and this is where all your static information goes. And stuff about you, I think even your me.md and all that goes in here. I think the M might actually live a little bit outside of this folder, but it is a lot of information about you, about how you work. Yeah, it also it asked me a lot of questions about stakeholders and org charts and partners. And when I was setting this up, I think this really depends on how you are working. So you might not need the stakeholders thing or org chart or partners, but I mean, it really depends on how when you work with other people, what does that look like? I think that's what the stakeholders is all about. Yeah, your strategies, your operating principles, all this stuff goes in here. And I think even more goes in here than just that. But again, that is more ways of telling it how to do things and the kind of more of the structure you have. I'm still I don't know if I'm completely sold on this system yet, to be honest. I'm just following it a little bit blindly just to get it set up and working. So ACE is one of the ones I've taken. So I don't know. Some of this doesn't seem to fit me personally. The brand voice, I mean, it doesn't really set up for me being a software test engineer. So instead of brand voice, I'd probably say, hey, quality assurance voice or something. Instead of and stakeholders, I don't know. I would be talking about like my team and the teams I work on and how we're delivering software and who we're delivering it to. So I don't know, I wouldn't spend a ton of time on this stuff because it's iterative. So that's A in the ACE. The C part is the calendar. And this stuff is the actual really, really important stuff. Because the calendar is how things run on your system. So it's like, hey, 7 a.m., generate a report, or look at all your failing tests at 8 a.m. and triage the failures, and maybe at 9 a.m. go through and actually fix them and create pull requests for you. Yeah, so you have these things called a heartbeat, and the heartbeat triggers and activates the agents that you want, and also, or looks at your system and kind of gets a reading on things. So this thing just happens a lot. And yes, meeting transcripts, I don't know. But anyway, it's just whatever you got going. It's just the raw data going in. I don't know why this would be in calendar. And daily logs, that kind of makes sense because that's your daily thing. I think maybe the meeting transcripts is because you have a lot of meetings in your day-to-day work. And so this is kind of your day-to-day. But honestly, I think this kind of feels a little bit different than this. So I'm not 100%, again, I'm not 100% sold in this ACE system, but it seems to be working for others. So I'm going to try it first. But honestly, this system, it's interchangeable. All you're doing is mark down files and you can change your system whenever you want. And let's see, what is the E part? The efforts. And this is the cool stuff. This is your actual projects you're working on. All the information about your projects goes here. Yeah, and this is, yeah, these projects are going to come and go. You're going to have things in here. I guess maybe this heartbeat system will also go through and say, hey, maybe that project isn't active anymore, and it'll retire it and you put a new project in. So yeah, your current focused, and I guess that's what helps keep your system on track, looking at what you are actually working on. It knows what to look at, it knows how to deal with it, and it has everything here. Again, not 100% sold on this layout, but I think I get that it's just one blueprint, and there are multiple blueprints. And I think this all is up to you as well. You don't need to follow this. You can just use this as kind of a starting base and build out your own system. I think for me, and being a software test engineer, I will probably have my own ways of doing things. So like, I don't know, I might even have a different, yeah, like as I was saying before, like this brand voice, my heartbeats, these things, I think I might have a slightly different system. I'm not quite sure how that looks yet, but I have a feeling it will not look like this. But again, starting point. Okay, and this next section right here, I'm just going to show this slide that was generated by NotebookLM, but I think it kind of visualizes why I would go down this road for myself. If we look here, just kind of codifying the chaos. That's kind of what I'm in it for. I want to see these automations on the right. Yeah, here's just me in general. All the things that go on, and yeah, it just splits off here. Oh, in the morning, give me some research stuff, or find all my tasks. Tell me about that. All, whatever you want for yourself, and then go through here, and then that splits off into skills and agents right here. And the skills kind of like put it all together, look through things, do things, and then they are then set to automations. So here's your skills that you've built out and the agents you've built out. And the automations are the ones that make them run on a regular basis. This doesn't really show it here very well, but a lot of these skills can be made to trigger each other. So once you do the first skill, it'll trigger the second skill and the third skill and the fourth skill. So if you put that on an automation so it runs once an hour on your operating system, it'll trigger all those skills, and it'll just run through your workflow. So if you have everything in your Agentic OS, you have your skills in a way that you know how they work, you have all the data in a way that it knows yeah, it can just grab all that and have that information handy whenever, and especially when it's running these automations. So you know these little agents have all the context they need to get the job done right the first time. Well, maybe not the first time, to get it right the 50th time. Because you're going to need a few loops to get through this and make sure you have the guardrails in place, your prompts are engineered appropriately before it actually works right. But man, can you imagine just waking up, things just start working for you? It just starts happening without you doing a damn thing. I even heard that was that Square, the company Square, they have just a fleet of agents working, just doing all the coding for them. Like they don't even touch the code. I think OpenAI has a few systems like this. If you develop the right harness, it does everything for you. You can start doing the higher level thinking and planning. That's what I'm going for with this type of layout. And I'm nowhere yet. I am just starting to plan things out. I just started this at work and I have not done this with my home operating system yet. I will. I am, and I'm going to be sharing things as I go. The things that I don't know are, how do you measure this? How do you know it's improving how you work? How do you know it isn't screwy? How do you know it's not hallucinating? How do you know your automations aren't going off the rails? How do you know it's improving itself every single time you run things? I don't quite understand how to measure all of that. People have definitely measured. I see that there are measurements, but I think there needs to be some practical way for you to know that this is working for you. But so far, all the evidence that other companies have, it's less about the model used, like the latest, greatest Chat GPT or Claude, whatever Mythos Opus thing happens. It's more about how you have your systems and processes very clearly outlined in a very organized way. I think that is the thing, is organizing your information, organizing your processes, and then knowing when and how those processes should run. And I think that's why all these companies right now are not shipping anything with AI. You hear all the AI, they're like, no one's shipping with AI, right? Well, we have AI, but we don't have a way to make sure it's working properly and with high quality. This gives it a framework. The quality is still something I am questioning, though. How do we know? And I think we just have to inject quality at all these layers. That's something I'm also going to be exploring to kind of give the Agentic OS idea a little bit more quality structure to it, which I don't see anyone else talking about, which worries me that we keep building all these crazy new AI tools, but no one's talking about, well, not no one, a lot of people are not worried about the quality and the quality hooks in there. They just wanted to generate a lot of stuff, but I tell you, as we're getting more and more into this stuff, quality is going to matter more and more and more and more. A way to make sure you're building something quality and AI isn't running all over the place, I think is going to be a key point in the very near future, if it isn't already. But that's me today. Thank you. Again, go down here. There is that free guide, Top 5 Test Automation Best Practices. If you haven't already, go down and grab it. It's free, right there in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, let me know in the comments, is there anything you really want me to dig in deeper into this Agentic OS stuff? I'm going to be exploring it and doing more videos with this. So I'll probably put together a playlist for it. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Anything I said here resonates with you, or just doesn't make sense, or you need any more questions, or if you just want to say hi, just go to the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I see people are increasing watching this channel, and it's making me so happy that people are watching me. I'm not like a big channel or anything, but that some people like this and have been commenting, and that makes me very happy. Thank you very much for all of you out there that are watching this. I appreciate you. If you like this video, check out this next video coming up. Hopefully, if you pair them together, it kind of gives you some more context into a lot of this AI stuff that's going on, and maybe how you can fit your testing architecture in with it. All right. Take care. Happy testing.